Welcome to Be Feminine, the place where we decode attraction, connection, and the deep psychology behind female behavior. Today, you're going to discover something most men never learn, yet it makes all the difference when it comes to truly connecting with a woman both emotionally and physically. We're talking about the hidden pleasure points women love, the ones that most men never think to explore. Now let me be clear. These aren't just physical places you touch. True feminine pleasure isn't limited to the body, it begins in the mind, travels through emotion, and is enhanced by subtle signals of care, confidence, and presence. So when we say hidden pleasure points, we're talking about a complete experience, something that taps into her psychology, her emotions, and yes, the physical responses too. Most men rush. They focus only on the obvious, thinking that louder, faster, or more intense is better. But here's the truth. Subtlety, anticipation, and awareness are the real tools of seduction. A high-value man doesn't just touch her body, he reaches her attention, her curiosity, her safety, her imagination. Let's begin by talking about the scalp and hairline. This area is incredibly sensitive and often overlooked. When a man gently runs his fingers through a woman's hair slowly, calmly, without expectation, he triggers a deep nervous system response. It's calming, nurturing, and can feel like a release of tension she didn't even realize she was carrying. A slow scalp massage, brushing her hair away from her face, or simply playing with her hair as she relaxes in your presence, these are not grand gestures, but they leave a deep emotional impression. It shows care. It makes her feel feminine and safe. And that is where attraction begins. Now, let us move just a few inches down to the back of the neck and behind the ears. This is one of the most sensual zones on the body, but it requires a certain tone, a sense of calm intention. A light whisper near her ear, soft breath on her neck, or just lightly trailing your fingers along this area. These gestures awaken sensitivity without pressure. It's not about what you do with your hands, it's how you do it. Your energy, your pace, your awareness. These small actions speak volumes. You're safe. You're seen. You're desired. That's the emotional language women respond to. Then, there's the small of the back. Have you ever noticed how a man placing his hand gently at the lower back of a woman when guiding her through a door or dancing closely creates a sense of natural chemistry? That's not random. It's one of the most instinctual, grounding places to touch her. It suggests stability, control, and protection, without dominance. A man who places his hand there isn't just touching her body, he is guiding her. And women love a man who leads with care. Here's one most men overlook entirely: the hands and wrists. You see, when you hold a woman's hand, it's not just romantic, it's intimate. But when you touch her wrist, that's different. The skin is thinner, the nerves are more responsive. A light kiss on the inside of her wrist, or even gently holding it while talking, can feel incredibly powerful to her. Why? Because it signals admiration. It says, I notice you, and that level of attention, especially when it's subtle, awakens both trust and desire. One area you rarely hear about is the inner thighs, and no, I'm not talking about anything aggressive or overtly sexual. What most don't understand is that the art of touch is about restraint. Gentle, teasing touches to the inner thigh, without ever moving too quickly, build a feeling of anticipation. That anticipation is where female desire lives. It's the space between thought and action, between curiosity and satisfaction. When you can create that space and sit comfortably in it without rushing, you'll unlock an entirely new level of connection. Now here's a really surprising one: behind the knees. Sounds unusual, right? But this area is full of nerve endings and is often incredibly responsive to touch. Playful brushes, light squeezes when sitting or cuddling. It's not about being erotic. It's about being unexpected. That unexpectedness is what activates attention. It creates surprise, laughter, a new sensation. And with the right energy, it leads to intimacy. But of all these zones, the most powerful pleasure point isn't physical, it's her mind. That's where attraction begins. The male body responds to what it sees. The female body responds to what it feels. If you want her body to open to you, her mind must open first. Stimulate her mentally through curiosity, playful teasing, thought-provoking questions, and emotional safety. Make her feel understood, valued, and seen. Because when a woman feels emotionally connected, her body becomes more sensitive, more open, more willing to explore. So how do you touch her mind? You listen without interruption. You remember the small things she tells you. You ask questions no one else asks. You make her laugh. You surprise her with your calm energy instead of trying to impress her with intensity. You create emotional safety, not pressure. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't just want to be close to you, she craves it. Remember, most men skip straight to the destination. They miss the journey entirely. But high-value men, the kind that women remember and desire, they take their time. They understand that attraction is layered. That true feminine pleasure is not about speed or performance, it's about attention, presence, and timing. It's about noticing what others don't, saying what others won't, and giving what others can't. So next time you're close to a woman, slow down. Be intentional. Focus less on doing and more on feeling. Watch how she reacts to the unexpected, the gentle touch on her wrist, the fingers through her hair, the light hand on the small of her back. Notice how she melts, not because you tried harder but because you were more aware. Most men never touch these zones, not because they're hidden but because they're subtle. They require patience, and in a world full of noise, patience is seductive. So be the man who notices. Be the man who listens with his hands and speaks through his presence. That's the man she'll remember. That's the man who doesn't just unlock her body but opens her heart. Thank you for watching Be Feminine. If you learned something new today, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe if you want to go deeper into the emotional and psychological sides of attraction and connection. And tell me in the comments, which of these hidden pleasure points do you think most men forget the most? Remember, the strongest connection begins in the softest moments. Stay gentle, stay confident, and as always, be feminine.